Hello friends, my name is Theo, and today this exciting Mr. Media tutorial is brought to you by Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description below get 2 months of Skillshare's premium membership for free. More about that at the end of the video. Alright, so we're going to talk about doing screen replacements inside Davinci Resolve. Now more and more, the job of a colorist is also sort of blurring with that of a visual effects artist, and I do a bunch of commercial work, and I've gotten a few sort of iffy screen replacements come my way. And on more than one occasion, I've just told the people, hey man, I can do this too if you want to save yourself, a little bit of back and forth. I can drop the screen in, it'll be easier, and it'll be good. And then I make a little more money, they have a little easier work, all good things to do. So now we can talk about how to make screen replacements happen in Davinci Resolve because it's really easy and it's a lot of fun. So the first thing we do is we've got our footage here. You see, not the best, not the worst. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of primary correction on this clip. This is totally optional, but I figure this is a tutorial. Might as well show you all the different steps that you can do. So I'll right click on this and do new compound clip, and we'll call this screen replace primary. And then we will dive into this. So open in timeline, and then we'll go over to our color page, which will be Shift 6, or if you've got the little navigator down here, it's that. And now here we'll just do some very basic stuff of evening out this exposure. I'll just bring this guy up, this guy down a bit, this guy up some because we want this to be a sort of high key look. It's looking pretty good. Let's balance this out a little bit. It's much harder with a mouse than a trackball, but these are first world problems. Get this going a little more. There we go. My eyes are liking this some. I think this is a good place to start. Now, you could use the match move thing in Resolve FX, but that's kind of lame. We're going to go into Fusion instead and do this the little easier way. So since Fusion has been basically working pretty well for me recently, we're going to start using a little bit more. How does that sound? So first we'll go back to our timeline with Shift 4, and then we'll go ahead and just exit out of this compound clip. And now you see we've got our guy here. It's got our primary correction performed. If you've watched my Davinci Resolve signal flow tutorial, you'll know why we're doing this, because now we're going to go into Fusion, and now in Fusion we'll be able to work on this little nicer primary corrected version. So Shift 5 to go into Fusion, or once again, it's down in your little navigation panel if you have that. And now I know some of you are thinking, oh, he's going to reach for the planar tracker. But I'm actually not, because lots of times with screen replacement, this one isn't so bad, but you'll have like reflections on the screen, and that really screws up planar trackers. Also, we have this inconvenient thumb here that's going across the screen, so that makes stuff a little harder. So we're also going to use point tracks, which I think will do a really good job on this. So I'll drop down a tracker, and we will wire this in. There we go, and we'll view this on screen 2 with 2. And now I'll go ahead and start placing trackers at the points around here. I'll fast forward through this a little bit because, who needs to watch me do this? But I'm basically just going around putting stuff on the corners and making them a lot smaller because I realize these are pretty good tracker points, so we can save ourselves a little bit of time. One thing I like to do whenever I'm placing down trackers for this particular instance is go top left, tracker 1, top right, tracker 2, bottom left, tracker 3, bottom right, tracker 4, and that makes it easier to link it up with the corner pin that's coming up. Spoiler alert, we're going to use corner pin for this. Who'd have thought? And there we go. So now we've got our 4 corners placed here, tracker 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make it nice and easy. And then we can go ahead and just hit track forward here. And you see how nice and fast this tracks. Wow, that wasn't even sped up. Look at that. That was a good time. Good job, computer. So now you can see those are sticking very nice. We don't have to do anything. They're just moving right along there. So now our next section is going to be overlaying our screen on this. So in this case, I'm just going to drop down a background because, one of the magic things of node-based editing is we can replace this with whatever we want later on. So background will be good. I'm going to make this a little more interesting of a background. So I'm going to make it a 4-color gradient and just throw some fun colors in here. All right, and now that we've got our background made, we can pipe that into a corner pin. You can see this does some goofy stuff. But in our corner pin, we've got top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, and we can link those up to our tracker locations. So right click on top left, go to connect to tracker 1 path, position, and we'll just go through and do that for all of these, and you'll see that because we did it in that particular order, we can just go down one at a time, and it makes things just a little easier. All right, and now you can see that our corner pin is all matched up relatively nicely to this. And if we view this on viewer 1, look at that. We've got a corner pin happening. And let's see what this looks like merged together. And you can see, it's looking like we're getting somewhere. So you see our tracker points are a little off, but luckily we can fix that pretty easy by going down to our corner position. We'll zoom way in. And we can just change our offset. So we'll move our offset X and Y. We'll go through and do that for all of these. And we'll overshoot this a little bit because we're going to end up keying out the green. And this way we'll make sure we have a really nice natural looking edge. All right, and now that's going to look a little better. So there you go, it's sticking pretty good. Hold up, this is Theo from the future here. I realized I forgot to put in this important little thing. The corner position tool really likes to have stuff that is the same aspect ratio of your comp. So lots of times if you're doing this vertical video screen replacement stuff, you'll get vertical video graphics. So in order to transform that, we will do a little demonstration. We'll drop in another background and we'll make this like a 2:1. You turn off auto resolution, you silly boy. 1000 by 2000. There we go, standard vertical video. And you see if we pipe this in directly, well, that doesn't work out so good. So instead, we can pretty easily add in another background at the correct resolution. So that's our comp size, and we merge these two. And if we view this, and then you can unclick use size and aspect and just do X and Y size. So bring the Y size down until it meets up and bring the X size up until it meets. And now if we drop this guy in, you'll see we have a nice thing. So this will transform our vertical video into a squished out version, and then it will squish it back. And now let's go ahead and do our key. So we'll organize things a little bit. There's our merge, here's our media out. Our tracker. Okay, so now we're going to add in a keyer after this. We're just going to use ultra keyer because this is a pretty simple shot. I'll go ahead and pipe this in. Excellent. And we'll view this on screen 1. And we'll just click and drag this guy over to the green section. And see, looks like that works pretty good. Nice. So now we can make a little composite here just to see what we're doing and merge these two together. You see our ultra keyer is on our foreground, and if we view this, and now you can see that's looking pretty good. We're getting a little bit of noise in our key, so I'll go ahead and modify this a little bit by bringing our threshold up some. There we go, and now that's looking nice and clean. So now we could either just send this straight out to color and do some compositing in here, or the more interesting way to do this is to send these both out as separate things, and then we can color correct our footage and our screen replacement independently, which I think is pretty neat. So we can do that by, first of all, dragging our media in up, and we'll just connect our media in 1 straight to our media out. There we go. So now that's just our compound clip that we graded before with some primary stuff. And then we can add another media out. And this can be where we put our tracked screen. And if we look at this, this doesn't have our key on it yet. So let's go ahead and add that in too with a quick matte control. And we'll just shift drag this in line. And if we right click drag our ultra keyer output to here to the garbage matte, now you can see if we scroll back, look at that. We've got our matte working. So now we are in the home stretch of this. Let's go over to our color page with Shift 6. And here you can see we don't have both things yet. We just have our original clip. So we can add in the other one by going right-clicking, add source, and then we can add a corrector node and a layer mixer node. It would have been faster to just add the layer mixer node from here with Alt-L, but you live and you learn. So we've got these two wired in. And here this isn't showing up because I've got this little guy turned on. There we go. And now you can see we've got our matte over top looking good. But, there's this black matte. So we can actually click and drag from our source again to our alpha input. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. And now from here we can adjust things to our heart's content to make them fit together better, or in this case, probably worse. But there you go. Just that simple. You've got a nice little tracked screen that looks pretty okay. Oh, one other thing that I forgot we should go and do real quick. Hit Shift 5, go back into Fusion, and here in our corner position, let's add some motion blur to this. So enable motion blur, and I know that I shot this with a 90-degree shutter because I knew I was doing some tracking, so I made that a little bit tighter. And we'll make this something like 4. And there we go, just that easy if we head back to our edit page. Now we've got that looking great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Hopefully, if you're a colorist, it's been sort of pushing away the idea of delving into visual effects. Maybe this lets you see that, oh, it's not that scary. You can start adding these other things in, becoming more valuable and helping to consolidate the team a little bit. Also, want to say,
and special thanks to Skillshare for making this video possible. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. It's for everyone from professionals that are looking to hone their skills to people who are just curious about learning something new. It's got a wide range of topics from art, design, marketing, productivity, lifestyle, leadership, a wide range of things, all curated and laid out in a nice, easy to consume fashion that you can take at whatever speed you want. If you've got 10 minutes a day to learn, you can do that. Or if you've got a whole day to learn, you can just spend the day going through and making yourself better, because investing in yourself is the best investment you can make. And if this is something that sounds interesting to you, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below get a 2-month free trial of the premium membership. So it costs you nothing and you become more valuable by learning some new skills. So I'd encourage you to go click on that link, check it out, take your 2 months for free. And if you want to continue after that, it's less than $10 a month with a full year subscription. So just think about the fact that if you end up learning a new skill and you can increase your hourly rate by even $1 an hour, this is already paid for itself in dividends, because that lasts for the rest of your life. So once again, the first 1,000 people to click on the link in the description get a free 2 months of the premium membership. Once again, thank you to Skillshare for making this video possible. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.